drivers to house cleaners to hosts for Airbnb, millions of Americans are part of what's known as the gig or sharing economy. Instead of a traditional full-time job, they piece together an income where and when they can.
But that also means they're not getting the benefits or security that many full-time workers traditionally receive. And on this Labor Day weekend, some say that needs to change. Here to talk about it with us is Vera Gibbons, a finance expert and founder and editor-in-chief of the website Non-Political News. Vera, good morning.
Good morning.
How fast is this gig economy growing?
It's growing very quickly. So about 34% of the workforce now gig workers, and expected to grow to 40% by 2020. I mean, a lot of it has to do with what happened after the recession. The employers didn't want the financial commitment of bringing people on full time. It's an expensive proposition. Right. But you also have on the other side people who want the gigs. So they're there by choice, not because they have to be.
Because it gives them flexibility.
Yeah. I mentioned the Airbnb and the Ubers. People know those. What are some of the other areas, though, where we're seeing?
Well, the rise in the on-demand workers is obviously fueled by the Airbnb, the Lyfts, the TaskRabbits. But I think what's happening now, responsible for the rise, is the technology. So you're seeing it across a wide range of digital platforms, car sharing, online staffing, peer-to-peer finance, and there's really no end in sight. The work that involves a single task is out there. So you're seeing it really all over the place.
So if there are no medical or insurance benefits, what's the allure?
Well, you touched on it, Anthony. It's the flexibility, right?
Yeah.
So everybody likes the fact that you can have your own hours, you can work as much as you want to, as little as you want to, you can work mornings, you can work evenings. So that's the main draw. People, for the most part, are happy in these situations. They like the money, they say it's fun, they like the social aspect, but it is the flexibility that's key.
Flexibility is great, but you do need some of those other things that you mentioned. So who are the people that are most attracted to these jobs?
Well, the millennials primarily. I mean, they're the ones who are big in this game. But we are also seeing a growing percentage of the pre-retirees and the retirees get in too. So about 10% of pre-retiree households and 11% of retiree households are actually in the game too. And they like it for those same reasons. But again, it is the social aspect primarily for them. They like making a little extra money, and they don't have the financially dependent kids at home.
Yeah, but some people say this new economy is kind of like the Wild West, that there's no real regulation here. I mean,
that's the problem. So
are we going to get there, do you think?
Some are calling for oversight, complete regulation that you see in the traditional labor market. There's talk about portable benefits, for example. Lots of different balls in the air. I don't know they will actually get there right away. I think the regulatory changes that are being talked about have sort of a long way to go. We're sort of in uncharted territory here. But I think at some point, the employees are going to have to change their staffing strategies because they've got to stay competitive. So I don't know what'll happen.
Do you think these types of jobs will eventually just take over and replace the traditional jobs?
Well, if you look at the gig economy as a whole, it is growing faster than the traditional payroll employment. And in some sectors and in some areas, it is superseding. It is the primary mode of employment. So it'd be interesting to see how this actually shakes out, particularly when you have these new technologies coming on board. You've got the self-driving cars, you've got all these different technologies, drones, artificial intelligence. Yeah. So what will the gig economy look like down the line? Nobody knows.
10 years from now, it's going to be very different.
It's just not going away, though. I think it's just going to explode.
Yeah, 10 years ago, we didn't have Uber.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Vera Gibbons, thanks so much for being with us this morning.